Have you ever wondered why good people quit good companies with great salaries, but they still leave the jobs? Why does it happen? The salaries are great, the perks are flashy, the brand is great, but still people leave. We all know of people like that. Why does this happen? Remember, it happens because people don't leave companies. People leave managers. Today, let's dive a little deep into this phenomena that every manager needs to know, especially the new managers. Let's look at some facts, some data, and also what the managers need to do to change themselves and stop every good talent from walking out of the door. Let's jump in. Gallup's global workplace study reveals a startling fact. 70% of the variance in employee engagement is determined by managers. In plain words, your boss has more influence on your job satisfaction than the brand name on your paycheck. Half of employees worldwide, 50%, say they left a job specifically to escape their manager. A Deloitte survey of millennials showed 2 out of 3 plan to leave within 5 years if they feel undervalued by leadership. And the financial toll? Replacing a single mid-level employee can cost 1.5 to 2 times their annual salary in recruitment, training, and lost productivity. In India, surveys reveal 80% of employees cite poor management and lack of growth opportunities as the top reasons for leaving. Globally, disengaged employees cost companies $7.8 trillion in lost productivity, nearly 11% of the world's GDP. Let's break down the key reasons why talented employees leave companies. Lack of recognition. A study by O.C. Tanner shows 69% of employees would work harder if their efforts were appreciated. Is this familiar? How often have you seen this happen? Micromanagement. Constant interference erodes trust, suffocates creativity, and turns capable professionals into disengaged clock punchers. This is something I've never understood. You hire the best talent in the market, and then as a manager, you proceed to micromanage that person. Look over his shoulders. How does that make sense? You hired the best because they can do it on their own. Stay away. No growth plan. Without mentoring or coaching or opportunities to stretch, ambitious employees stagnate. Toxic or unempathetic leadership. A single cruel comment, an ignored personal emergency, or a dismissive attitude can outweigh years of good pay. These actions are remembered. The ones which touch the heart are remembered. Poor communication. Employees crave clarity and feedback. Silence breeds insecurity and frustration. One of the issues with today's corporate world is about the clarity of communication. If you're not clear, the team is left confused and left to make their own interpretations of what it means. And most time, the interpretations are wrong. Let's look at an example. There's a lady I know. Let's call her Ria. Project manager, extremely competent, done some great work in her past, and when was hired in this company, she continued to do some really excellent work. Quickly, she was getting recognized, and this caused a lot of issues to her manager, who basically was insecure with her success. What followed is a series of incidents of publicly criticizing her, finding faults, small faults which didn't make sense, ignoring or snubbing of ideas which she brings. Till the time, one fine day, unable to continue with this daily torture, Ria decided to leave the company. Talents walk away, walk out of the door because of bad managers. She didn't leave because of salary or good or a bigger brand coming and offering her a job. She didn't have a job. She just left. Nobody decides to get up in the morning and say, today I'm going to quit. But when somebody has to continue to be daily walking on eggshells and being careful, then it's time for that person to give up and quit, all because of a bad manager. Let's also spend time looking at what do good managers do. What do they do that helps retain and grow talent? Good managers know that talent retention is not just about paying more or doing those stuff which gives the aesthetics of well-being. The real well-being is in helping people grow, and giving them space for their ideas. Here are a few things good managers do. Listen more than you speak. It's so important that you allow the talent to speak, bring out ideas. Listen carefully without judgment. Evaluate ideas on merit. If you speak first, you run the risk of biasing the team with your ideas. Let them speak. You speak the last. Give credit. Take responsibility. The example that comes to mind is of APJ Kalam, who once said that the first attempt to launch a rocket to space, Dr. Kalam was leading the team and it failed. There was a huge loss to the nation and he had to go and face the press. But his boss asked him to hold. He went out on the stage and addressed the press. But a few years later, in the second attempt, which was brilliantly successful, his boss asked him to go on the stage. And it was Dr. Kalam who was standing on the stage when things went well. That's a great lesson. Be generous in giving credit to your team members. Be generous, even if you had a role to play, a little role to play in the success. But when it comes to taking responsibility for any failures, any screw-ups, please go to the front and acknowledge that you are responsible. Invest in career growth. One of your biggest roles as a manager is to grow your employees. When you look back later at the end of your career, you should be able to remember those as your biggest achievements of how many of your team could you help grow. Lead with empathy. See the human being, not just the job title. A simple "how are you doing today" can build trust. Set clear expectations and then trust your team. Provide the vision and allow autonomy in execution. This is absolutely the basics of leading. Be clear on what success means to you and the team. That helps in setting very clear expectations. No just using words, no just using language, but clear, smart expectations, measurable expectations, simple in terms of measuring. Here are some of my few takeaways for what companies should be doing and what leaders should be doing. For companies, train managers in emotional intelligence and coaching. Include leadership effectiveness in performance reviews. Use 360-degree feedback and anonymous surveys to uncover issues very early. And here are some for leaders. Schedule weekly one-on-ones. Recognize small wins publicly. Have quarterly career roadmap conversations with each team member. And for employees, if you are under a difficult manager, try constructive feedback and seek mentorship. But remember, your mental health matters, so sometimes the healthiest choice is to move on. In summary, companies don't lose people, managers do. Leadership is about pulling team members up, growing them, creating opportunities for them to move up the ladder, coaching them. Their happiness with work is your responsibility. So if you're a manager, ask yourself, are you building people up or are you pushing them out? And if you're an aspiring manager, remember this. Great leadership is about how you inspire and grow people in your team. It's always about the people in the team, their aspiration and how do you grow them. You will find that your goals are very easily met when your team is charged, inspired and happy. Build people. Only then does companies grow. Hope this was useful. So till the next time, stay unstoppable.